What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be discussing the box office for this weekend, and more importantly, The Wild Robot, which was released this weekend. But before I do that, I want to mention something because I wasn't able to do an episode on this last weekend about the Transformers One, and its terrible release in the theaters, opening only to $25 million, and its projections were more north of like 40 million, and it just crashed and burned, and it didn't do any better this weekend, so it was very bad. But one reason I thought might be the case is because a lot of people are waiting to go see Wild Robot instead of going out to see Transformers 1, and that ended up being the case. The Wild Robot ended up going up to $35 million from most industry projections had it at about 20 to 25 million, and ended up doing 35 million, so it did incredible at the box office this weekend. But the same cannot be said for Megalopolis, or Megaflopolis, as it has been nicknamed, because it only made $4 million, and it was projected to make around $5 to $7 million. And that doesn't seem like that much of a underperformance. But what's really bad about that film is it had a budget of $120 million. And when you add in the marketing and theater cuts, it ends up meaning that this movie would need to make over $300 million just to break even and start making the studio money. A $4 million start means this thing would have it would be really lucky if this thing even got to 20 million on its entire domestic run. So the fact that it's probably going to lose them hundreds of millions of dollars is not something that Lionsgate is really happy about right now. And they continue to have a lot of flops. There's just so many flops. I mean, every single, like, Borderlands, Never Let Go, Megalopolis, The Crow. There's so many flops that they've had this year. So they really just want to forget this year ever existed for them. So yeah, let's head over to the top 10 this weekend. Obviously, The Wild Robot coming in at number one with $35.7 million. Again, excellent opening for Universal. Beetlejuice, which got $16.2 million, and an absolutely incredible drop of only 37%. That's great from weekend to weekend. And we actually have a review on The Wild Robot and Beetlejuice, both absolutely great films. Go see them in theaters. Transformers 1, 9.1 million, dropped 63%. This thing's in trouble. This thing is in a lot of trouble. It opened low, and it had a bad drop on its second weekend. So this thing is in a lot of trouble at the box office. Now, coming in at number 4 is a new one, Devera Part 1, made $5.6 million. So it's doing good. Speak No Evil, which took a soft 27% drop. That's great. $4.2 million this weekend, and a $28 million domestic run for that film so far. Coming in at number 6, Megalopolis, 4 million. That's tough. That's horrible. Deadpool and Wolverine, number 7, 2.7 million. Sorry, down only 27% this weekend. So it continues to do really well. That film's up to $631 million domestically. So good on it. Number 8, Never Let Go, made 2.2 million, down 50% this weekend from weekend 1 to weekend 2. So, I mean, it's doing okay. It's doing okay. Again, it's a Lionsgate film, and it's struggling a little bit, but that's fine. It's Lionsgate. What do you expect? Coming in at number 9 is, well, you have the picture up there, so you can read it. Coming in at $2.1 million, up 688%. That seems like a lot, but it also added, it's now in wide release. So it was in limited release before, only in a few theaters, and now it's out in wide release. So that's why you see the big weekend to weekend increase. So that film's doing okay. It's doing okay. Coming in at number 10 is Howl's Moving Castle, a Walt Disney film, 2.1 million. So, I mean, it's all right. So that does it for the top 10 this weekend. And let's talk about next weekend. We have Joker 2. That's the big release for next weekend. And a lot of people are a little bit nervous about how this film's going to perform because there's actually not a lot of buzz for it. And the earlier projections had this thing easily going over $100 million on its opening, but recent projections have pulled this thing as low as $60 million on its opening weekend, which would not be bad. 60 million is a really good number for any film. But for Joker 2, the expectations for Joker 2 were that this thing was going to open over 100 million, and now it's looking like it might not. And that's very concerning for Warner Bros., who is obviously making Joker 2. So it doesn't have the buzz right now, but all of it depends on what happens tonight. There are some people that are going to go see it, and maybe word gets out that it's really good, or maybe it falls even further. But I'm staying on the side that this thing is going to do a little bit better than people are saying it is. I don't think it gets to 100 million. I think that's too much to ask at this point. It was a shoo-in for 100 million earlier this year, but now I'm not so sure. I think 60 million is way too low, though. I'm calling this at probably around 82.5 million is where I say this film is probably going to go. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it being in that much trouble to where it's going to fall to 60 million, but I definitely don't think it's going to be as big as the original Joker was at all. So that's it. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe and comment down below what you think Joker 2 is going to be able to do on its opening weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.